That we've tabled for you this morning, I know is going to pique a lot of your interest. Many of you are keen on this topic. Now, this news item came out very recently. More than 1,600 Ghanaians were misled by fraudulent agents when applying for UK visas in 2024 alone, leading to long-term consequences, including 10-year bans. Now, although this represents only 4% of applicants, officials warn that even a single case of fraud can cause serious financial and emotional harm. Now, this was contained in a statement issued by the High Commissions of Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom in Ghana, announcing a one-week public awareness campaign aimed at protecting applicants from visa fraud. And if you're watching us on Facebook, do follow along with this write-up. In 2024 alone, 1,632 applicants from Ghana used fraudulent means when applying for UK visit visas. And again, that's just 4% of Ghanaian applicants. But look at the consequences when you ignore the flags, when you ignore the signs. With me in studio this morning, I still have Eric Mawina Egbeta, but also we've been joined by, let me clear my throat for this one. I only just learned how to pronounce it properly. Portifi Emmanuel Akwafo, Deputy Finance Director, Global Wings Travel and Tour. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. How are we doing?
I'm doing fine. Good morning.
Good morning. And get a bit closer to the microphone for me. Feel free. Good to have you in the studios with us. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Now, this is your field, so I take it that maybe you weren't too alarmed or too surprised, shall I say. Maybe alarmed, but not too surprised by some of these statistics that we are being furnished with. Now, the statement that I read, the excerpt came from High Commissions of Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom, and they are highlighting the issue of visa fraud, which has some severe consequences. A 10-year ban, including a loss of money, amongst other things. How often are you confronted in your line of work with the issue of fraudulent visas?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a worrying situation, and we as consultants, we are not surprised though, but it is very worrying when it comes to visa fraud and its related matters. Currently, visa fraud and its related matters is affecting the country as a whole externally. It is creating a very bad reputation for the nation, and most people who want to travel genuinely, including government officials, are even being denied visas.
Even government officials, yes, because of that perception that this country, there's so much fraud when it comes to applications of visas.
Yes. So at the end of the day, when you cannot prove beyond a certain doubt that you need a visa, they will not give it to you, even though you are going for a legitimate purpose.
That's very troubling indeed, and that reputational damage is not something that, we can toy with or play with at all. What are the most common types of visa fraud cases encountered by agencies such as yourself? What do you see commonly?
Commonly, misrepresentation of facts. Yeah, some of the applicants try to conceal some of the information, the purpose for which they need the visa, they don't even want to disclose. Some falsified documents, and some identity thefts. Yes.
Identity theft?
Yes.
That's very extreme, on the extreme side of things. So they actually co-opt somebody else's...
Yes, so for example, let me give a classical example. Let's say an association is going to travel. So let's even bring you down to a supporters union.
Okay.
Traveling to support, let's say, the Black Stars.
So for example, we've got the World Cup coming up.
Good. And we have Mawina as a supporter of one supporter union.
Okay.
And you are representing somebody as Mawina who is not part of the supporters union.
So someone picks up so someone will come up as Mawina. When Mawina is home somewhere.
God. People do that. People with similarities of faces, they use that a lot.
This is something that you encounter.
Yes.
Now, how do these forged documents typically enter the visa application? Because you would think that there's some level of screening. How are persons bypassing these, processes?
Yeah, first of all, I think let's take it from this angle. A lot of people don't understand what even visa is. If they understood visa to be as a legal document issued by a country for you, then there is that awareness that any misrepresentation of facts is going to have a dire consequences on you. Now, some also do that because they are very desperate, they want to travel, and at the end of the day, whatever document they are presenting, they are not even aware of whatever document they are presenting. Some come like this and see a travel consultant, and whatever documents are being presented by the travel consultant, they have not even seen it before.
You are traveling. Somebody's preparing documents on your behalf. Yes. You are so eager to leave the shores of Ghana. You don't even take your time to even peruse the documentation, make sure that the information there is legitimate. So people actually will gladly let the agent do all of that.
Yeah, and I can understand. For some, the paperwork could be boring. I mean, paperwork anywhere. If and this is no justification. I'm just trying to, sometimes I try to help us get into the minds of the individuals and what it is that leads them to do what they are doing. So you want to travel. Someone comes and says, I can do everything for you, this, that. Person might not be even very educated to appreciate what the processes are. So you entrust the entire process into the hands of another person. The person who is an agent does all the documentation, they falsify bank statements, because more often than not, what I've come to realize from conversations, the biggest bane is whether or not you have good enough money in your account, which is basis upon which you can return. So you have people serving as guarantors. Sometimes you don't even know who the person is, whether or not the person is engaged in fraud whatsoever, zero idea. They go through all of that process, then they bring you the document, and you also don't check. And then you submit it and you go and you are ready for an interview, and then you'll be flagged.
I mean, that's certainly dangerous.
It's very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And as a travel consultant, you are expected to guide the applicant, educate the applicant on the do's and don'ts and the visa requirements of each and every country. Some do that ignorantly because they don't know. Now, when we come to the embassies, for example, the visa requirement changes time and time and time.
Okay.
For example, let's take Dubai, for example. We started the year or somewhere last year. Dubai can give you visa when you have just a reservation or just a booking of an itinerary. As time goes on, they have revised this requirement, and they said now the itinerary has to be confirmed. So if you don't have this information, you'll be misleading an applicant.
Okay.
Kenya, when they waive off the visa restrictions, they brought in what you call the ETA, the Electronic Travel Authorization, and you have to pay for it at that time. As time goes on, they have waived off the payments over there, but still you have to fill the Electronic Travel Authorization. So if you, as the consultant, number one, you are not aware of the changes in the rules of the embassies, then you'll be misleading an applicant, number one.
Taking money from
them. Number two, some, they also portray themselves to have a lot of links and ties with the embassies. So basically they portray themselves as they have a lot of connections. So they sway the applicants into the knowing that this person can do the work for me. Meanwhile, the person cannot do the work. They are just interested in their money.
So they present themselves as if, well, if you do this through me, it's a sure banker. You are definitely going to get your visa.
It's a sure banker. And the fact is that nobody apart from the embassy can give you the visa or can guarantee you the visa. Even the president of the republic cannot guarantee you the visa. It is the embassy that can guarantee you the visa. And guaranteeing you the visa or you getting the visa does not also give you the right to entry automatic.
I see.
It is the immigration of that country you are visiting that grants you the right of entry. So you can even have the visa from here and you get there and they will deny you entry.
And that's an important distinction to make. The fact that you have the visa doesn't mean that, let's say, as soon as you arrive in Dubai, by all means, you enter and go and have a jolly good time. Now, what steps do you take to detect and also prevent visa fraud in your line of work?
Okay, when it comes to we as a travel consultant, especially Global Wings Travel and Tours, we are clear on our mandate. We tell applicants that we are here for visa advisory services. So if Mawina wants to travel to the UK, for example, and Mawina approach Global Wings Travel and Tour and want to know how he can get visa, first of all, we will not portray ourselves to Mawina that we can get the visa for him. It is a sure banker and bring 3,000 Ghana cedis and we'll do the visa for you. No. We will tell Mawina that, okay, these are the visa requirements for getting a UK visa. And first of all, I am getting the information from the embassy's website. That is the legitimate source of getting the information, because day in, day out, they may revise the visa rules or the requirement. So I get that information from Mawina that, okay, these are the documents you must provide. What are the purpose of travel? So if Mawina is going for visit, then there's a visa Mawina can apply for. If Mawina is going for business, then there's a visa Mawina can apply for. If Mawina is going to study, there's a visa he can apply for. If Mawina is just passing through UK to somewhere, there's a visa he can apply for. So first of all, the purpose of travel is what I will ask him for. Once I know that, I know the requirement he must satisfy. And all the requirements that he must satisfy, he must provide those documents. So documents like the bank statement, it is Mawina who has to provide the bank statement. And we are clear in our minds by telling him that don't go and falsify bank statement. Maybe Mawina came and he's supposed to have, let's say, 50,000 Ghana cedis in his account. And Mawina is having only 200 Ghana cedis in his account. And he wants to travel in the next 2 months. It is practically impossible. I'll have to advise him and tell him that build the bank statement for a period of time, because as we stand now, in 2 months, it is practically impossible to
raise 50,000.
50,000. Even if you go and dump the 50,000 in the account, you'll be rejected.
Because then it would look like you've only done that for the sole purpose of getting the visa.
That's it. So we give you an advice where you build the bank statement to some point. You must run the account. It's not also that you are just building the account for the travel purposes. It should be something legitimate. So once your document is coming from a legitimate bank registered under the Act of Ghana, it is okay. Don't go through a third party to falsify a bank statement for you to look good. You'll be caught. So Mawina have to provide those documents. Mawina must provide his passport, and the passport too must be a legitimate passport, not a fraudulent one. So all the documents that must be submitted must be provided by Mawina. Where I come in is where I'll provide a travel itinerary, normally the one you call the tickets.
Okay.
Yes, so I provide a travel itinerary for Mawina. I provide the hotel reservations for Mawina. I assist Mawina to get travel insurance if there need be to be. So all those documents where I have to come in, I give Mawina those documents. And those documents too can be verified. Some agents can give you a fake one. There was an instance I went to one embassy and some gentlemen brought a document over there. And the document they brought happened to be a travel itinerary. And straight away, they were rejected. They said they would not even accept the document. And they didn't understand. And when I took the document from them and I tried to advise them that, look, the itinerary the person has given you, The person just edited something. Look at the date, look at the flight times. How can you say that this flight is flying from here to another place? I as a travel consultant, I know this flight doesn't go there. So how do they manage to do that? So at the end of the day, if you don't get it from a legitimate source, it will be detected. So I guide Marina through all this. Then I tell Marina that these are your documents. Marina peruse the document. Everything is okay. He's aware of the document that is being submitted. I direct Marina to the embassy where he will submit the document. If there's an appointment to be booked, we book the appointment. Marina goes on the appointment date and submit the document by himself. Pay the necessary visa fees by himself to the embassy. If it is payment by online, Marina paid those fees online by himself. All this through, I am guiding Marina on how to provide legitimate document through legitimate means, where we are hoping that his chances of getting the visa is high.
Fantastic. Thank you for laying this foundation for us. Let's also introduce into the conversation Ransford Nanado Jr. He's a certified fraud examiner and professional certified investigator. We're talking about the rise of fraudulent visas and what the consequences mean for individuals and the country as a whole. Ransford, hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Mama?
I'm doing fantastic. Hope you are also doing well this morning.
Amazing. Forgive me for not being able to make it to the studio this morning. I had other engagement.
That's all right. Not a problem at all. Next time we'll see you here live and in the flesh. Now we're ruminating on this statement that has come out that indicates that more than 1,600 Ghanaians were misled by fraudulent agents when applying for UK visas in 2024, amongst others, and the long-term consequences, including 10-year bans. We're talking about why this seems to be on the rise and what the average Ghanaian can do to prevent themselves from being victims of this. And my first question, Ransford, is what are the main techniques that fraudsters are using to perpetrate visa fraud in Ghana today?
Thank you very much. And let me say good morning to your listeners and the gentleman in the studio. I think that is a myriad of techniques. Key among them is social engineering, where fraudsters have noted that people are very desperate. People are looking for opportunities to travel. People are looking for offshore jobs. So they send unsolicited messages to these people and promise them to get in touch. Very juicy jobs in the UK, Canada, Australia. And people who click on some of these links are led to make payments, sometimes without meeting the perpetrator or the person who is promising the deal. And they are promised very juicy packages, including stress-free, visa, including travel tickets, including jobs and free accommodation.
That's right.
And some of these people move out hoping that they are going to, fulfill their dreams on a foreign land, but they don't even get any documentation which is genuine. That is stage one. There are some who are very bold, who appear apart from the online conversation and near you to offices where they will show other people who have gotten visas and they are traveling, and they will lead you on.
You have just 1 minute remaining.
All right. We'll rectify and then continue on with
right now that some of these
that conversation.
Were never issued by any embassies. Get it.
Right. Now I was just going to comment on that briefly because a lot of these ads that we see are very juicy indeed. You would think that the average person would be able to see beyond that kind of catchy advert, stress-free, at little to no cost. What is it that is not, clicking to the average person that this is, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true?
Yeah, so obviously you couldn't have said it better. Now, what makes a scam is the acronym itself.
You have no call credit.
All right, we'll reconnect with Ransford in due course, but we're still in the studio, joined by Portifi, and he has been laying some great foundation because of his line of work on what exactly is going on behind the scenes when it comes to visas and fraudulent visas at that. And you were talking about a situation where you were able to intercept some fraudulent documentation. How often is it that you're able to intercept this? And is it because of your expertise that you're able to spot some of these anomalies when it comes to the documentation that is submitted?
Yes, because of our line of work, and we have done it over and over again. So normally when the documents are presented, there are certain technicalities in the documents that you are looking out for. And once those technicalities are not there, it raises an alarm. There are some that are presented that look too genuine that even the visible eyes cannot see. The technicalities will be there, but until it is run through a system, you may not know. So that is basically how we are able to detect. So when on the physical face of it, let's say a bank statement, I see certain transactions as an accountant myself. I see certain transactions on the bank statement and the way it is going doesn't look normal. I know certainly well that this is a fraudulent document or this is a manipulated bank statement. And if the bank statement is also coming from a genuine bank, there is a way it is being presented and you know it. When it comes to the itineraries, as I said earlier, that there was one that I saw. On the face of it, you saw that this flight doesn't go here. So how come they are able to do an itinerary that this flight will fly to this place?
It's just not possible.
It's just not possible because the flight doesn't go there.
Let me reintroduce Ransford back into the conversation. Ransford, apologies, we lost you there briefly, and you were weighing in on my question about why many people are swayed by some of these juicy-looking adverts that just seem too good to be true.
Yes. So thank you. I mentioned that the first one is what you have actually said. A scam is not a word, it's an acronym. So the first one, when it seems too good to be true. The second one, you're contacted out of the blue. Somebody you do not know. Right?
Right.
Now, we are asking you personal questions that you yourself, you think that you are getting a solution from somebody who is supposed to help you get a visa. And asking too many personal questions should tell you that you are heading towards danger. Money is being requested before a service is rendered to you. Now, if you put all these things together, and the person is not a recognized agent, there is no travel and tour that you can actually hold accountable, usually the prices, like you mentioned, are too good to be true. The next one is that they'll give you a sense of urgency that they are already doing something for some of these people. And if you are not able to bring your money in a week, you are going to lose out. So the sense of urgency and the pressure that they put you should let you know that you are heading towards danger. Now, if you request to have a meeting with them, it is only few of them who will actually show up. The ones who are very confident and they show up, they take a lot of money. This morning I was having a conversation where a lady said she paid 7,000 euros and she's been given a visa to Spain. She never left her house, but she has a visa to Spain. And she's not bold enough to actually check whether this visa is genuine. So what we need to do is, and let me congratulate you guys for the kind of education that you're doing.
Thank you.
To increase the level of awareness for people to know that, see, there are protocols in traveling outside this country. If somebody is promising you that, give me $7,000, go and sleep, I'll get you visa, I'll get you a place to sleep and all that. You need to do some basic checks. Ask yourself the genuine process, how much does it cost? What is the genuine process and how can this person is able to do these things for me without me appearing? Now, the next thing, the gentleman mentioned it, we need to let stakeholders understand that the embassies share information. The embassies pass document through systems to check. So if anybody is promising you that we're going to get you some document, you don't have a bank account in a particular bank, but we're going to get you a bank statement, all we need is to put your number on it. The embassies get to the banks to check. And the consequences when you are banned, for instance, the UK, and yes, that is not the only consequences. They're going to give the information to other embassies who are also going to feed it into their system. And it tarnishes the image of you, the individual, tarnishes the image of Ghana. Looking at that statistic, that more than 4% of the people who applied for UK visa were done fraudulently. It is not good. It doesn't speak well of this country. And we need to do more of this education.
Absolutely. Now, what is your own process for investigating suspected visa fraud cases?
The key thing here is that the numbers that you have been calling, the numbers you have been dealing with, usually when a case is reported of this nature, the first thing that we need to do is to find out who is behind those numbers. Interestingly, man, some of these numbers, they are targeted. Immediately they finish dealing with one person, they throw it away and get the next available sample. So they make sure that they give you a number for your service only. When they finish, they throw it away. The payments, usually they wouldn't like you to pass it through a bank account to leave any traces. They will tell you to either pass it through some individual account. If it's an agency recognized, the agency should have a bank account. You should be able to leave some traces. As for cash, the least said about it, the better. Because there's no evidence whatsoever when you even arrest some of these people and they say, you said you gave me $7,000, show me receipt of it, and you don't have any receipt because you met at a certain bar stop and you gave the money and your money is gone. So to me, investigation is very, very difficult in this sense because one, some of the embassies will not even release the details when this happens. All they will do is that they will just ban you. So you may not even know that the document that was prepared for you were fraudulent to even start investigations in the first place. Some of them will just decline you the visa. You continue buying 100 times, they will continue to decline you because they have noticed that you have done a fraudulent application. Others, they trigger a process and even arrest, and that is when you get to know that, so this document that were used for me were actually fake. You may be lucky, but at the end of the day, you may not going to jail. So the process is very cumbersome. Some of the embassies do not make disclosures. They only take their decisions and smile at you and say, sorry, we're unable to allow you to go to our country. But behind that, there's a lot of fraudulent documents that you have submitted that you yourself, you may not even be aware of.
Sounds like a lot of people are falling prey to this issue of ignorance, trusting people that they don't know, just following advertisements online, handing out large sums of money to individuals who are promising them, like you said, accommodation, hotel, visa, all from the comfort of, your own home. You just have to lie down, sit back, relax, sip some tea, and next thing you know, you have a visa. But you could be putting yourself in serious harm just by being ignorant of the processes. Now, Ransford, can we talk about the link between visa fraud and identity theft, especially in recent years? There seems to be a high link there. And Potifi is a travel advisor with Global Wings, and he was telling us that it's something that he faces in his line of work, persons impersonating others to attempt to get a visa and travel outside the country.
Yes, so all of them comes out of ignorance, if you ask me. I sometimes wonder how any applicant would think that you can change your name to a known name and go to the embassy and, they won't check. Because in this day and age, even your social media handles will give you out. In applications to the U.S. Embassy, for instance, you need to disclose your social media handle.
That's right.
So if you have actually stolen the identity of another person who looks like you and you think that you're going to use that, no way. Especially in this day and age with our Ghana card system. If you go do anything like that and the NIA data speaks to the fact that you cannot actually clone somebody's identity because it's biometric, you will be fished out. So it is ignorance that makes people think that oh, why don't I use this person's name? It may be somebody who is even dead and gone, and they want to use a dead man's name to travel outside this country. You will be fished out. The second one has also got to do with celebrities. I mean, if you get to the social media, you see the number of people who are known, media personalities, members of parliament, politicians, whose identities are being used to, promise visas and trips to UK, US, Canada, Australia. You will be amazed.
Really?
Who, in rightful sense, will get on social media and say that I am the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. I have a slot to send 100 people to the United Kingdom. So I am calling people. My peers will call you, and then people are falling for this.
I was going to ask, are people really falling for this? So you get a message from Vice President. She says, I'm taking 100 ladies. You're such a hardworking lady. I'm taking 100 ladies to Spain this December. You'll get a call from my PA, and people think, oh, actually, this looks legitimate. I mean, have you come across genuine cases like this?
Yes. Now, in Morocco today, there are more than 70 young men and women who were promised 6 years ago they were going to Spain through Morocco. And they had somebody's identity used to promise that job. They were taking huge sums of money. They were sent to Morocco. And today they have to cover their faces and beg before they eat. In Morocco, as I talk to you now. And if you saw the messages that were shown on social media which they fell for, how can somebody as high as Office of the President, a Minister of Foreign Affairs, promising that I have received the blessing of the Queen of England to send some 100 people, so contact this number if you are interested, and the numbers are took already. So people are desperate. The desperation will not let them do the basic due diligence. People want very, very cheap access to things that, like you mentioned, it shouldn't make sense to anybody. Why should the Minister of Foreign Affairs be the one soliciting for people to travel? Why should the Vice President be the one who is putting information that call my PA's number immediately if they are interested? And when people call, they are made to send their initial deposit. And that is it.
This is troubling indeed. I'm going to speak to Posifi once more, but quickly before I go back to him, we've seen a rise in travel agents and many people seeking the help of travel agents. Now, Ransford, how can applicants verify that said travel agent is legitimate? Because some actually have physical presences, they have offices, they've got websites, and so on and so forth.
I think you've answered the question yourself. I would not feel comfortable dealing with people that I cannot see and I cannot visit their offices and all that. Yes, convenience has made it appropriate for us to do things online. But to me, at the point in time where money is going to part with, and we're going to part with money, we should have some physical verification of a sort. Every business that is registered, with a basic check of a team, you can find who are behind that business. Sometimes even the same online portal that people have been defrauded, others are in queue going to also expose themselves to the same fraudsters. But somebody has left a comment there that these people took my money and they have not picked my call. And another person is asking, how much should I pay? Should I pay now? So basic due diligence, I think, is a desperation that makes people close their eyes to these things. And you can check. I think they have an association for travel and tour agents. You can check if somebody is recognized from their website. You can do your basic checks to find out the people behind these agencies. 3, do not let somebody give you his personal number that send Momo. If you are dealing with an agency or an institution of that caliber, they should have a bank account. They should use some traces to at least the account holder and all that to help us in investigations when something happens. The final thing is that when these things are too good to be true, people are selfish, they don't share information. So they are bleeding alone. And when they hear some of these things, at least if you share with a friend, an auntie, an uncle, they'll tell you that, that's what this, let me call this person to check. And when they share some of these things out of greed, they keep to themselves and they bleed alone.
Certainly, Ransford, thank you so much for that. Hold on for me. Let me come back in studio. Potiphar is still here with us. Let me pick his thoughts on some of what you have said so far. I saw you nodding along to a lot of the points Ransford has made so far, and some of the things you had already mentioned, that the embassies, they work in tandem with the banks, with other embassies. So you might think that, okay, well, maybe I applied for a UK visa. Whatever happened there will stay just there. But you go and make an application maybe for Australia, and you'll find that no, that information has been shared, and you won't even realize why maybe you are not getting other visas. It's because the system has picked you or flagged you. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. So the embassies, they have the right to tell you the reason for refusal or not. So if they refuse a visa, they may tell you that it is because of A, B, C, D. Go and better it and come back. Some they may not even disclose at all.
Right.
So at that point, what will you do? That is number one. Now, when it comes to, I think he has said a lot that I have shared.
Yeah.
Let me touch on the regulatory points.
Right.
Now, how do you know that this is an accredited travel agent I am dealing with? Having a physical location alone is not enough. There are a lot who even have physical location, but they are not genuine. Now, as a travel agent or as a travel consultant or as a travel and tour company, you must first of all be registered. So if I should go to Registrar General's department, we should see your registration details over there. You must first of all also be registered under the Ghana Tourism Authority. So if I go to Ghana Tourism Authority, I should find your information over there. We have associations in Ghana here, like the Tour Operators Union of Ghana. You should be under that umbrella. We have Ghana Association of Travel Agents, GATA. You should be under those umbrellas. And those umbrellas try to consolidate the gains we have as a country and make sure that the agents and the companies registered under them are doing the right thing. Sometimes you may see some may try to falter, but at least once there is an eye watching you, you are there to do the right thing. Sometimes you also have agents that are not even registered at all, that have offices. There was a time I went to one office with somebody, and when you enter the office, the registration document of the business has not been displayed. You will not see the certificate of incorporation. You will not see the certificate of to commence business. They are not in any association, and they are displaying the owner's picture on the wall. They are displaying the president's by then picture on the wall. I asked the travel and tour agents, what I don't really see the need to display other pictures than my regulatory document over there. That is the very first thing you should see when you enter an office like Global Wings Travel and Tours.
Right.
You should be able to see our registration document visibly displayed. Whether it is expired, it is not expired, it should be there. That is number one. Number two, sometimes you may enter the office and even the office setup does not even qualify to be an office. It should raise an alarm. I entered one office some time ago, and when I entered the office, I saw some stuffing chairs that are there. I was like, is this really an office? And I started asking questions as a consultant from my point of view, just to see whether the people seated behind the table over there really qualify. They don't even know anything. They lack the relevant knowledge and expertise in what they are doing. So they catch on unsuspected applicants, they collect them money, and as the other colleague just said, they are in a haste to collect the money. Collecting the money is their first goal.
Right.
They collect the first money, pretend as if they are doing the work for you, then they will call for an extra. You need to pay this within the next 2 hours or 3 hours. You are missing the opportunity. And because our people are desperate to travel, because of that, they are willing to commit more funds to it, hoping that they are going to get the visas to travel. All these are some of the things people have to see or take note of when they are dealing with travel and tour agents. Another one is that we have regulatory regimes such as the International Air Transport Association. So you can be regulated by IATA.
Right.
And when it comes to IATA is just more or less like Bank of Ghana. There are punitive measures if you default some of the rules and regulations over there. So if you come to our office and we tell you we are IATA accredited, it tells you the kind of regulatory framework that we are under and the kind of things we must do and the kind of things we cannot do. If they catch us that we are even engaged in visa fraud, they'll close us down.
Very strict indeed.
Very strict. Very, very strict. So when the agents are not registered under this umbrella, then they are free to do some of these things that they are doing. I think one thing that the other colleague didn't mention is that most of these fraudsters, they write in capital letters.
In capital letters?
Everything in capital letters. No serious organization will bring out a communique and everything is in capital letters.
That's a red flag you should note.
That is a red flag you should note. Grammatical errors, construction of sentences, and you can see that everything they are saying is geared towards collecting the money first. They go to the airport and go and take pictures of others who are traveling.
And they use it on their
social media handles.
So that when you go there, you think, oh, this agent has helped so many people travel to UK, to US, but this is not even from...
Sometimes the person even talking, when you look at him standing, do you not even have a passport? You can see that this person cannot even travel. He don't know what he's saying, and he's promising you to travel. He don't know what he's talking about. But because most of them are desperate and they lack the knowledge, they are able to identify that this person cannot do what they are saying they want to do.
Fellow Ghanaians, listen and listen well. Possibly, are there any particular countries that you see are prone to this type of visa fraud, especially coming from Ghana? And what are these countries?
Yes, Australia, number one, Canada, UK, US, those are the hot cake areas. Most of them, they want to travel and go and work, to go and seek greener pastures. So I'm in Ghana. Ghana is too difficult. I need to go and find somewhere to get something better. Or friends are telling them that actually I've traveled to Canada and I'm making it over here. Come. Look, there are legitimate means to travel. It is not difficult getting visa to these countries.
It is not difficult?
It is not difficult at all. Once you pass through the legitimate means, you satisfy the requirements and produce genuine documents. It is not difficult at all. You want to travel to the US, what is the purpose of travel? Number one, the purpose of travel should be reasonable. If you are going for education, do you really qualify to apply for that school you are applying for? Do you have the necessary skills you want to apply for? So let's say I want to apply for my master's in the US. Do I even have degree from Ghana in the first place? Have I completed? Is my degree that I'm having, is it certified by GTech? If yes, fine, because you cannot apply the school and they will not certify. They will certify. You can apply the school and they will write back to your university where you were to certify that has this person really completed the school. And all those things are part of the processes. So you must make sure that from the word go, you are getting or providing genuine document. So once you are providing genuine document and you are satisfying the visa requirement, it is not easy. It is not difficult to get a visa at all. Not difficult.
Let me pick Ransford's thoughts on this. Ransford, if you're still with us, do you agree that these are the hotspots, the UK, US, Australia, where many people are so desperate to go to that they are falsifying information, falsifying documentation? Are there any other countries that you see maybe emerging as hotspots where documents are being falsified to visit?
So I think that those are the big ones that he's mentioned. However, Spain is becoming a very notorious destination where people are going through Morocco with the hope that they will get to Spain, and they end up getting themselves in trouble on a foreign land, usually in Morocco, where they don't get to move again. Others have also been promised destinations that they don't reach there. They end up at Kuwait, the homes of people as house elves and all that. So, apart from the big five that he's mentioned, there are some destinations that people use, and they will tell you that we are transiting. And even in Cote d'Ivoire, as I talk to you now, there are people in Liberia who have been trained to say that, okay, I'm a victim of war during Chasteler's time. So at Senko, you go and tell the refugees, UNHCR story about how your life is in danger. People have been taught a lot of things. And I don't know why, when we were young, we thought that, okay, we could just see a white man, we look at the plane passes, Boni Koko, I'm scared, they don't give us money. When a white man is passing, you story, you tell him. I don't know whether that same mentality is there today. That people have been made to believe stories that are not reasonable. And so we are promised destinations and told that we can pass through Cote d'Ivoire and get to Germany. We can pass through Liberia and get to the US. We can pass through Morocco and get to Spain. And the number of Ghanaians who have ended up in Kuwait, especially ladies who are doing all sorts of things.
That's
because
right.
they were promised final destinations which they never got. It's very, very alarming.
That's right. And we know that these ladies, go there and are subjected to all forms of abuse. A couple of years ago, we had an interaction with some ladies who had fallen for a similar scam, if you will, and ended up as domestic help, and the kind of abuse they faced was quite terrifying. And yet, even in this present 2025, there are ladies who are still willing to risk that kind of abuse because of the promise of a better life. Now, you made a comment about us giving this much needed education this morning, but I take it that it is your view we're not, as a nation, doing nearly enough to really alert people to the dangers that visa fraud or falling for these kinds of scams, could pose for their lives.
Not at all. I personally don't think that we have even done 2% of what we are supposed to do. You see, what brought the story up? Today, this week, from 16 to 19, we're marking the International Fraud Awareness Week.
That's right.
Media houses are calling, and that is how come the UK, Australia, Canada embassies have put out this. And this is an everyday issue. This is a human issue. It's not something that you do once and then you stop. I will challenge the media houses. I think in programs that, I have done some work on some networks. The amount of viewership and the views and comments that come in, it tells you that fraud is a daily issue. People are losing their livelihood. People are losing their lives. People are losing parents to some of these scams. And so we need to discuss it and not to wait for November 16th to 19th and everybody is discussing these issues. If people are aware, I have a saying that if you can see a scam, you can stop a scam. And how do you see a scam? When you are aware. So let's increase the level of awareness.
Very important, Ransford, and challenge accepted. And I like that you mentioned that this is a human issue. People are losing their lives, their parents, their livelihood to this issue of fraud. I'll give you your last word on this. What advice then do you have for Ghanaians considering traveling abroad regarding visa integrity?
I think that knowledge acquisition is very important. Whatever you want to do, speak to people about the process. I don't believe in shortcuts. I don't believe to give you the needed result. It's going to put you into trouble. Find knowledge. Get into offices and ask that I am going to deal with this agency. Are they registered? The next thing is that anything that is done in agency, it leads to bleeding. When you are in a hurry, that is when you make mistakes. So don't just wake up and say that I want to travel within the next 1 month. Plan, get knowledge, visit offices, talk to regulators, check offices of people who say that they are accredited. Check from Registrar General, this person that I'm dealing with. The next thing is that we should also, as it were, develop that kind of vigilance. And some of the stories that I hear, I ask myself, how would you sit down for this to happen to you and you are crying, you want to invite all of us to cry with you? What level of due diligence did you do? The third one, let us be realistic. If somebody is offering you something that is too good to be true, you will not go and say that it is your God who has opened a way for you. You are going to end up in jail on a foreign land. It's not everything that shines that is gold. Let us stop being greedy. Let's be realistic. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ransford. A word to the wise is certainly enough. Ransford Nanado Jr. is a certified fraud examiner and professional certified investigator. And as I mentioned, challenge accepted. This isn't something that we can only discuss in this period of time, but it's one that we should be highlighting throughout the year. Very grateful for your time, Ransford. And so we're back in studio now. Portifi is still here with us, and we'll be wrapping up on this conversation. And something that you said, struck me. You said that if you go through the legitimate processes, it's really not that difficult to visit some of these hotspot countries. But what about those who say, well, I had all the legitimate documentation, my account was legitimate, all the information I provided was certified, and yet I don't seem to be able to make that breakthrough in securing a visa? I mean, there are those who have those legitimate concerns, and so they might think, if I've tried it the right way and I don't seem to be getting ahead, maybe let me go to the other side and see if I can do some kululu, some pak to make my way to these places. I mean, what do you say to that? And is that legitimate? Some people say, I've done all the right things, I still can't get through.
Yes, so first of all, you've done all the right thing, you still can't get through. It's legitimate for you. But for the embassy, you have no proof beyond reasonable doubts for them to give you the visa. Just as we said earlier, sometimes you may apply somewhere and you have been refused, and they share information among them, and you are going to another place. The reason for refusal is in their system. You don't know. You go to another place, so already there's a red flag on you. Now, some people are traveling, maybe I'm going for a conference.
Yeah.
And looking at where you are coming from, what you do, and the conference you are going are not correlating. So you may think that, yes, the conference I'm going, I've purchased the ticket, everything, I provided every document.
Yeah.
But you are an accountant and you are going to engineering conference. It just doesn't make sense for the embassy. So they are saying that maybe you are using the conference as a bit to run away. It may be so. So sometimes you have all the legitimate documents, but there are certain technicalities your visible eyes may not see. So the advice is that if there is no need for you to go, don't falsify.
Don't risk it.
Don't risk it. So as a media personnel, there is a media conference that is coming up. There is all evidences that show that you are a media personnel. You provide all the requisite documents. Media General has given you a cover letter and everything. Your chances of getting the visa is very, very high once you go through the legitimate means.
And we also spoke about, making sure that you approach a legitimate travel and tours, for example, Global Wings Travel and Tours, because we know that there are so many others that have sprung up now. You might go to the office and, what you are seeing versus what you are being promised, it simply cannot be the case. Does it make it difficult for you as a legitimate business, to operate when there are so many others who are not doing the right thing? Or does that even help your case the more because you are doing the right thing and you have all the accolades needed for this business?
Yeah, exactly. What the others are doing wrong affects us indirectly. Recently, we have a program with an institution in Ghana, a recognized one as such, and we needed to get some Schengen visas. And my boss and the team approached the embassy, and the ambassador told them straight in the face that what the other agencies are doing is tarnishing the image of the whole industry. So from the word go that you are seated there, they are not convinced, and you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt why you are credible and why they must give you those visas. So it was a rigorous process. Even though we are legitimate, the institution is I don't have their permission, that's why I didn't mention their name.
Okay.
They are legitimate, they are recognized in Ghana here, but the rigorous process that we went through to get the visas for them, it was really rigorous. But we understood. We understood what is going on because we know that we are providing regular, genuine documents and everything. But at the end of the day, you are being taken through all those processes. And once you are legitimate, you are not worried.
Right.
Whatever document they ask you to provide, you provide. Whatever information they ask you to provide, you provide. They even ask us and even ask our partners out there to send them a mail. The partners have to send all those are the processes. So you can see that if these fraudulent people are doing things like that, there is no way they can get those informations to the embassy. Some of them, they don't even submit the document to the embassy at all in the first place. They just collect your money. Yes, collect your money, and if it is e-visa, they just go online, edit somebody's visas or whatever, then they give it to you, print and give it to you.
So does that mean that people actually go to the airport with some of this documentation only to be told, my friend, this is not a legitimate visa?
Yes.
My goodness.
People get to immigration and they will be bounced because the visa you are holding is a fraudulent one. People have visas that are stamped in their passports and it's a fraudulent visa.
My goodness.
Yes. It happens a lot.
We have to be absolutely vigilant. And as Ransford has thrown that challenge, this is a human issue and the consequences are dire. Potifi, we're very grateful for your time. Let me give you the final word. Any advice to fellow Ghanaians as they embark on, an adventure to secure visa to go outside the country?
Yeah, I think that the first thing each and everyone have to do is to know that the embassies have the sole prerogative to give you the visa. So if you want a visa, first of all, visit the embassy, their site. Every embassy have a site. Visit the site, see the requirement of the visa that you want. If you can't get to the site, get to a recognized agency like S Global Wings. We will take you through, give you the necessary requirements that you have to satisfy to procure the visa. Number two, you don't allow documents to be submitted on your behalf you have never seen before.
Don't do that.
Never do that. There are some embassies you can submit the visa online. Some you can submit it in person. Some it can be submitted on your behalf for you. Whichever way, you, the applicant, should have 100% control over the document. And know that anytime, any day, you can defend those documents. That's number two. Don't also deal with agencies by roadside. Don't meet somebody and send the money to somebody by roadside or bus stop. You are dealing with Global Wings Travel and Tours. Then I am asking you to send the money to Kojo Mensah. It should raise an alarm. You are dealing with Global Wings Travel and Tours. Then I say send the money through Momo. Meet me at the bus stop and let me collect the money. It should raise an alarm. The very first thing you have to do is that ask for my bank account. I transfer the money into the bank account for you. Proof of payment you provide as you have paid. Case closed. So if tomorrow something happen, it can be tracked. Or you go to the office physically and pay the money in that office. Even though I said there are some offices, they are there, it is not guaranteed. But once you enter the office, you should look out for certain things.
Right.
You can even ask people around that this office here, how many years have they been in operation? What they said they are doing, do they do? Do those background checks. And once you are satisfied, then you know that, this office has been here for the past 10 years now. So the chances of they even closing down and go is very, very low. You get to the office and then you see the office set up and it raises an alarm. You should be able to know. So, in conclusion, what I can say is that education is the best teacher. Most of our people need to educate themselves, seek enough advisory, plan ahead. You don't just wake up and travel. Plan ahead. And once you plan ahead, it takes down the stress, the pressure, and the attempt of making errors, providing documents that are not genuine, and all this stuff. Sometimes too, it is not the agents who are doing it, though, the applicants, because of the pressure they are giving. Some applicants, the fact that they paid you the money, the course, they'll put pressure.
By force or by fire.
So sometimes there's an agent who want to do may try to, okay, the process may be long or whatever, but the pressure that you are giving them, they just get something for you and then close the chapter. So it's a two-way affair as well.
Absolutely, and we've gotten some very important knowledge this morning. Portifi Emmanuel Akwafo is a Deputy Finance Director at Global Wings Travel and Tour, and they're behind some of the wonderful travels, wonderful tours that you and I are privy to, and we're very grateful for your time this morning. Thank you so much for that much needed education. Make sure that you do not fall prey to any kind of visa fraud in the year 2025 and beyond. Portifi says if you do it the right way, then really unihao. Time check, it is some 22 minutes to the top of the 10 a.m. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.